Morning everyone, I'm up on a dairy farm in Yorkshire. Now what am I doing here? Well, I came to visit Charles last night. Some of you may know Charles does a bit of Charles Cam on his farm here in Yorkshire and sent it on over and we put it on my channel. But I'm actually passing through, so might as well thought, come visit him. Last night, which I'll put in now, we came and he was still feeding and bedding, so I didn't really help that much because I just got here, but I did a few gates and things, and then this morning lent me some gear because I did not expect to pop in. Didn't bring the right attire, but got some overalls on. I'm ready to help out. First thing this morning, we've got to bed the milkers up. So everyone, I've actually finally managed to get Charles now. He's not been spreading and mucking out all his animals, but I really want to ask Charles a bit about the milk prices and how it's going for him as a dairy farmer at the moment. So I'm going to flip the camera around and ask him a few questions. Okay, so go on then, Charles. Tell us what it's like to be a dairy farmer at the moment.
Well, it's pretty tricky. So we've just had some pretty high prices last year, but that led to a lot of overproduction here in the UK. So now the prices are crashing very fast. So to put that into sort of context, we went from about 48 pence per litre in September, which people were making money at.
So the companies that you sell to were giving you 48 pence per litre for your milk?
Yeah, in September. And then since September to January, we've now dropped to 35 pence. That's over 10p drop.
That's a big drop.
It's a massive drop. So sort of a 1.5p drop would be a reasonable drop.
Yes.
So to have dropped this much in such a short amount of time is a big shock, and basically sort of the profit making that we were making sort of last year really only sort of filled the financial hole that we'd dug for ourselves in the year before that.
Yeah.
Because the milk price is just so volatile nowadays. You have big periods of loss making. So we got into more debt when we were loss making the last time, so sort of when we began making profit, that sort of filled that debt.
And then interesting, so tell me what average for a normal dairy farmer would be the cost of production for the milk?
So they reckon the average cost of production in the UK is about 40 or 41 pence per litre here.
So 41 pence a litre, and you're getting at the moment average 35. So at the moment you're losing a lot.
Yeah, some people are down as low as 30, or even some of the small dairies are at 28 pence a litre.
That's just mental.
So for every litre they produce, if they are the average cost of production, they're losing 12 pence.
And you can see, I mean, I got here last night late and you were busy working. You've been up early this morning working. It's absolutely relentless. You know, you can't just leave the cows because they're going to go hungry. They can't just not be milked. It's hard work, and for what really, apart from you love it.
Yeah, well, you just can't turn the tap off. You know, when you begin making a loss, you can't just say, we'll stop producing milk right now, because it's sort of a long cycle. Yeah. You've got cows constantly calving and things. Even if you have them not producing any milk, then they still need to be fed.
No, exactly.
You've got so many fixed costs, debt to repay, machinery, staff to employ. So there's a humongous amount of cost involved with dairy farming. It's extremely labour intensive and capital intensive. I can see that.
Your whole family are involved, and it takes so much time and effort. But I don't know.
7-day-a-week job.
All my followers put in the comments below. You might have seen Charles. He sent in his YouTube videos a few times a while ago of him on his farm. So yeah, let me know what you think about dairy farmers. Do you know dairy farmers at all around the area that you live in? But it is a hard life for them. He's just getting everything ready to feed the cattle in the morning. He's tipping the silage into the mixer wagon. We've got a New Holland TM140 on the front of the mixer wagon. So as soon as the cows go in for milking in the morning, their feed is ready. They don't have to mix it in the morning. All the beet as well here. So evening everyone, I made it up to Yorkshire to see Charles. Charles sometimes does Charles Cam for the channel. I'm sort of on my way up there, so I popped in to say hi. He's just feeding the cattle at the minute. It's currently 6:30, so they're just milking. So all the family out, they're all working. They're either doing the horses, feeding, Charles is feeding, milking, everything here. Oh, I don't know what he's doing. So this is what happens on a family farm. Always out, always working, busy looking after livestock. I've just arrived and obviously they're still all working, which is absolutely fine. It's great to see actually. It's what it takes to keep the animals going. And I suppose I have to talk to Charles later, but his family is probably one of the families that are affected by this inheritance tax at the moment. Luckily I came in my boots. Mixing now. Here's all the girls. I'm not sure you can probably see them too well, but they're all in their barn, all just being milked. Hello girls. Sometimes it comes up to the window, you can see it mixing. Was having a good mix. I've never seen one of these working.
Yeah, well, we only just got it in October. So we bought the mixer wagon to be able to mix in wheat with the ration.
Yeah.
And also by using the wheat and stuff rather than just feeding concentrate feeding the parlour. And then we can feed less concentrate in the parlour, which is really expensive, whereas wheat isn't that expensive.
Okay, we're going in with a spreader bale now. So basically they bed up twice a day, and this is where they keep their cows. So they bed this whole barn twice a day. Going right to the back there. See, the bale is in the like little box. He's turned it on, it's all hydraulic, and it should start blowing straw everywhere. And you see the girls, look at them over there, they're waiting to come in, now they've been milked. Okay. So we've just seen Charles feeding, so what they feed is they first put a bit of hay in. They also put beet, a tiny bit of soya because it's good for protein. What else does he put in? A bit of rolled wheat as well, and also grass silage. So that's what goes into the mix, and that's what we have just seen him mixing in the mixer wagon. So he's done all that for tonight, mixed it all up ready for the morning. And then we saw him dumping it on the concrete floor because unfortunately they don't have feed passages for their cattle. They want to remodel that, but at the moment they don't. So they have to feed it with a forklift in the morning individually, but it's good for them when they want to mix things up, that mixer wagon. It's just better for the cows that are milking because you can get all the fibres, all the proteins they need, and order them for them to produce the milk. So here's a spreader bale working. So I'm sure this gets quite expensive when they have to bed straw twice a day. But then Charles has also just said that slurry storage is pretty expensive as well. So I suppose, and disposing of slurry. So it all adds up. This can go in on the field. Having a slurry lagoon can also add costs. If we walk over here now, we can see, there we go, all the fresh straw. Cows waiting to come in. Hello. That's better. It's a lovely bed for them, I have to say. I better get out of the way before I get run over. So 200 kilograms of hay, 1.2 tonne of beet, 350 kilos of wheat, 120 kilos of soya, which will feed around 125 cows. So that's enough to feed all of their milkers. And then the bulls, which are over there, and everything else will just be fed on silage. So Charles was saying earlier the soy is really good for the protein, and it's also, it bypasses their rumen, which is good because it gets straight to the nutrients. And that's why they feed soy, even though it can be pretty expensive. But it's mainly for the protein, especially for their milkers. That's how he collects a bale onto the spreader bale. Charles has just said it's absolutely relentless in the winter. All it is mucking out, putting more bedding down, leading muck, removing muck, putting muck on the fields, spreading it, jumping it. It's just muck, muck, muck because there's so much of them. It makes it difficult and hard work, especially in the winter. So dairy farmers, it's a difficult job, I have to say. You know, up at 4 a.m. milking again. Some places even milk 3 times a day. Imagine, and it takes 2 hours to milk every single day, just one time at a go. So that's 4 hours of your day, maybe 5, 6 if you include washing down time of milking. That's a long day, and then you've got all this mucking out. You've got to be checking them, or feeding the calves. You see, Charles is feeding, ready for the morning. They've got to be fed twice a day, cleaned out twice a day. You know, it gets tiring. This is day in, day out. You cannot have a day off. These animals need feeding every single day. They've got to be checked every single day. You can't just go away. You see how difficult it is for farming families like this to go on holiday. Because it's a round bale, it's very tightly packed in the middle, and it's not very easy to get through the chopper. So Charles is just having a little bit of a problem. It's coming out now, but you can see that bit there might get stuck, so he might just go and feed it to the bulls. Hello. They're like, oh, let me into my bed. Come on, man. So you're gonna keep him because he's so big?
Oh yeah, he'll go and he'll be fattened. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, he's obviously only half blue.
So Charles was saying that one of the calves we've just seen was absolutely massive, born just before Christmas, and he's never seen something like it. I'll have to show you in the daylight, but he's bigger than the ones born after him. Just bedding up the dry cows now, and the parlour must be in there. Oh, they're all in the way. It's a cow in the way now. New Holland overalls, I'm borrowing. Whoop. Wellies on. Charles very kindly lent me all this stuff because I didn't come prepared. Oh, dear. The zips decided not to do up. That's better.
So, yeah, in 1980 there was about 35,000 dairy farmers here in the UK.
Yeah.
Now there's around 7,000, and they reckon with the current price crash, which could last for quite a long time, and it is pretty bad, that we could lose another 500 to 1,000 dairy farmers. So
That's
by
sad.
the end of this, we're only going to be left with potentially 6,000. And if that number of producers go every time there's a crash, and these crashes are becoming more regular and the volatility is increasing, we're not going to have many dairy farmers left very soon.
Sad, isn't it? Thanks, Charles. So we saw everything in the daylight. The dark night? Daylight? Now we're going to see it in the daylight. So we've just unwrapped 3 bales. Charles is just putting the spreader bale on the forklift now. Morning, little one. First job, bedding up for Charles. You can see we bedded up here last night, and you see how mucky it's got now. So that's why they have to bed up twice a day. There's a beak and the silage that we made up last night. So we could probably go and have a look at it actually. So yeah, grass silage, a lot of it. The beet there you can see, and you can see the wheat actually in it. Probably can't really see the soya, but yeah. Hey girls! Morning! We'll be milked. Hey! We're back at it again where we've got the core of the bale stuck and it's not going through the spreader bale just because it's a bit more tightly packed. If we had a square bale in there, it wouldn't be, there we go, might go now. There wouldn't be so much of a problem, it's just because they're round bales. But this is what it takes to produce your milk. You know, the farmers, they're working so hard. This farm milks twice a day, some farms milk 3 times a day. They have to be up at the crack of dawn to make sure the animals are milked. And then again in the evening, there's just no break at all for livestock farmers. Hello. Morning. How are you? You been milked? Good girls. So it takes them a few hours to milk in the morning, but then of course, if you haven't got any staff and it's just a family farm, you've got to milk. Then you've got to come and bed up, feed, I mean everything. Look at this lovely fresh bed now. Armin's here to pick up their milk. We just collected some milk. Time to feed the calves. So I said there was a really big calf in here. This one was born literally after some of these little ones over here. It was humongous. They're all having their milk for this morning. So they get milk probably twice a day as well. I'm just bedding them up. This one was born yesterday, so it's quite weak. Hello. Where would you like to go? Bet you're going to say New Zealand. It's a parlour. It's not being cleaned yet after milking, but we're going to do that next. We fed the calves, cleaned the bottles. We're just going to go and clean everything else now. So just been and dropped and run around a little bit. And now the vet's here, so I'm going to go see what the vet's doing. I think they're just maybe pregnancy testing or just checking the cows out. I'm not too sure. They have the vet in quite often. But I'm so loving this. It's so interesting because I never really get to do much with livestock. And they're such a lovely, welcoming family. Charles is getting on with feeding, and I was like, well, there's no point me standing around. I might as well get involved. So I went with their other employee, George, feeding calves, mucking out. Now I'm going to go see the vet. So cool.
Into the the rain falls on it and washes the nutrients out into the ditch. So
Yeah.
you put it in a shed and it doesn't get rained on. All the nutrients stay in the mug, and then
it's not leaching.
Yeah, it's not leaching. That's the idea. Because we did used to have just like an outdoor pad here.
Yeah.
So
No,
the
but
Environment Agency were keen for us to.
it's a nice barn.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it is. The old parlour is where that new lean-to is. 3 David Browns. 2 there and another here. With all sorts of old.
Yeah. A Clayson 1530.
Yeah.
Never ever seen one of them in my life.
Yeah, well, Clayson was what New Holland bought out. So,
Oh. How big is that header?
10 foot.
10 foot. So this doesn't come out, I assume.
It hasn't for a few years now, no. But the advantage with this combine is you don't have to ever take the header off.
Yes.
You could just drive straight into the field and start.
And then dumps it in their little storage cupboard, ready to feed the cows. Charles then took me for a little drive out on the Yorkshire moors. How beautiful is this? I'll show you some of the videos that I saw on my route. So these were the kilns?
Yeah,
Where they...
iron ore kilns.
Oh my goodness.
To smelt iron ore.
Look at all that. Charles was just saying that this is such a beautiful area, but once used to be so industrial. And these are all where the residue from when they were...
Yeah, when they smelted it.
Yeah.
It's just such a pity. It's
So we're just about to go down the joint steepest hill in England. What a great day out I had with Charles. Thank you so much for taking me around your local area, up the moors, to the beach and the bay. And by the time we got home, it was time for him to milk all over again.